Do you know what your Ableton Simpler is actually capable of? Out of all the tools that I've been using in Ableton Live for music production, Ableton Simpler is my most favorite one, and I want to show you why. And I'm doing so at a lovely outdoor studio next to a lake in Berlin. Alright, let's begin. As you can see, we have 3 tracks. First is the kick drum with a simple 4 to the floor. Second one is the bass drum with an offbeat pattern, and the third one is our Simpler, which is currently empty. Let's check out the bass loop. Okay, and now we will put Simpler onto the third empty MIDI track, go back to my samples and put in a loop. The loop will sound like so. So basically in the normal classic mode it will play the whole loop chromatically, which obviously changes the timing and therefore it won't fit your BPM. You can also warp it and pitch it, but that's this won't basically change it will only change the pitch of the loop and not the whole appeal of the loop. What we want to do instead is use the slicing feature. So there is 3 algorithms. There is slice by transient, there is slice by beat, or there is slice by region and manual. If we choose transient, the loop is being separated into little slices, which we can then play over the keyboard. And the beauty of it is, if we create a MIDI pattern and just put in notes in a more or less random manner, like so, the whole thing starts to become a totally new loop. Which sounds quite cool actually. Alright, let's put on a delay to make it a bit more spacious. Okay, and now just let's add, or first off, if you shift the notes, you will get totally different results. Prefer this even more. And now let's add some random notes. And maybe some more. Alright, that already sounds quite good. Next off, let's add a hi-hat to make the whole thing a bit more interesting. Drum rack on track 4, hi-hat, and then let's check whatever, like a random hi-hat sample. Okay, maybe a bit lower. Okay, cool. All right, so that's basically the whole technique. It's a really nice way to add, like to basically change a loop around 100% and make something totally new and interesting out of it. There's one more thing that you can do. For example, just change the loop. So that's the loop that we've been using so far. Let's put this on top. Okay, you can't hear it because it's in a different octave. Also, this sounds nice. So if you transpose it down, for example, yeah, it's not ideal. So this one, for example, that's much better. Okay, you can also choose to make a bit of a fade out, so the whole sample becomes shorter. All right. There's one more random factor that you can apply, which is change the slicing behavior. So at the moment it's set to slice by transient. You could also set it to region, which separates into a fixed amount of regions. At the moment it's 8. Let's go up a bit. Yeah, that's the thing. So basically, as you can see, so the actual slicers are not longer at the transients, so basically the loudest part of the loop parts. It's basically in the middle of it, as you can see here. Therefore, it creates a really like chaotic sound. And sometimes you need to play around with the fade in, the fade out to make it a bit smoother. So basically we came from this loop and changed it to this. So I think that's quite cool actually. All right, that's one little simpler technique, and the other one which I want to show you is a really simple one which you might haven't been using before, and that's actually just to use the LFO to create a bit of movement. So let's put a simpler in there again. Go to whatever, I want to just use like a one-shot sound this time. Maybe, so here, drums, one-shots, synth lead. Let's use this one and create a super simple pattern. Okay, so the LFO. You go to controls in order to edit the LFO, and then maybe apply a little pitch modulation, just slightly. The thing is, you can't hear it because at the moment it's set to re-trigger. Basically the LFO will trigger every time the sample is hit, but if you deactivate re-trigger, you get something like this. And the whole thing starts to move a bit. It makes the whole thing more interesting. To put, let's put a bit of delay or a bit of reverb on top to make it even more interesting. And maybe pitch the whole thing a bit up because it's quite low. Right, like so. So as you can see, there is a lot of potential in the Ableton Simpler. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, comments or everything similar, leave a comment below or contact me via direct messages. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.